How's it going, guys? So I figured I'd make just a small video of how to change a power steering seal on a John Deere 2020 1020. And I don't know if the 30, I'm pretty sure the 30 series went to a hydraulic cylinder from that box, so they didn't have the ball joint to the steering arm. If your tractor is leaking oil underneath, this is the cause. So if you look down in here, you can see in there a little bit. Now you can't see in there at all, but you can see in there, you can see where it's clean. That's where the oil is running out of that seal. So I'm going to walk you through what I had to do to get to that seal, and then I'm going to see if I can't get a, oh hey, look at that, it's actually already out. Nice. That makes the job easy. I don't know if you'll get that lucky like I did, but yeah, take the stinking bolt off to get it, and I dropped it, of course. So yeah, there's your seal. And yeah, so all you gotta do now is just pound your new one in, but I'll show you what you got to do to get to that seal, because you can't just get to it by taking this off and pounding your steering arm off, which by the way is cast, and more than likely, if yours hasn't been loose in the past, you have to heat this cast up so it could flex a couple thousands, maybe just thousands, to get loose on that tapered shaft in there. But as I was saying, if you got a 2020 or a 1020, anything that has a sway arm underneath, if it's with the sway arm and the steering arm, if it's got an oil leak underneath, you're not sure where it's from, it's definitely the power steering when the tractor's running. This is the main issue. So if you got the swaying steering arm and it's leaking oil, you'll have that steering box like a 2020. So let's walk you through it. So what you do is you go ahead, before you start tearing the other side apart, get your nut off, heat up your hub, get underneath there. You can get underneath of it and hit it pretty good with a sledgehammer. I was able to hit it about this high underneath the tractor. It was enough to jar it and pound it off, but the heat helps a bunch. So you heat it up, and once you get that loose, go ahead and take your steering arm off on that side, so that way then you can move it. You come over here to the other side. You go ahead and take this cap off here. And this is what it's going to look like. This is your cap. And I don't have a gasket. More than likely, it'll take like 2 weeks because everything's behind it right now. But you just go ahead and just clean it up as best as you can on both sides, and fill it in with silicone, you know. So that's how we roll. But the bushing in this one looks good. You can still see the line perfectly fine. There's a lot of smudge in it. And here to come find out, if your tractor sits outside a lot, this is going to be full of water in here too. So you go ahead and pull off your 9/16 bolts, take off your return line. This is your return. It runs into here, so that way then this will stay full of oil, and it's got, because it constantly feeds oil. So if you look in here, you'll see your steering arm. This shaft is part of the shaft going through to the other side. So what you got to do is pull this case, pull the plate off, and then what you want to do is pull that pin out that connects to the steering arm there. You can see it there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see it in there. That goes up and down and connects to that rod, or that rod in there, and that's connected to the shaft, and that's what spins and turns the other side. So what you do, pull that pin out, and you can actually, when you take your safety snap off, because when you first pull it off, you're gonna see a 7/16 bolt holding this plate on the rod inside. So what you want to do, when you pull that off, you can stick a 9/16 bolt. I actually just took one off of the side case here, and threads right in, and you just pull it out. This one fought me a little bit because it's never been pulled apart, but trust me, there's nothing on the back side. You just pull it right out. And then what you want to do is go on the other side. Actually, no, before you go on the other side, go ahead and turn your steering wheel to where that round rod in there is up. Then that way, then it clears the rod, and then you can go on the other side, spin it, and then you're able to push in on the shaft. You can be able to push in on this, bring it this way, then you're able to clear the steering arm on the other side, it drops right out of the bottom. Then you're able to change your seal, and then you just repeat the process to put it back together. So that's how you do it. Pretty straightforward if you're mechanically sound. But the next thing is just make sure when you got this thing apart, just make sure this is clean. You're gonna have oil coming out of here because this is your return out of your steering box. It's gonna make a mess. I would recommend putting a bucket or something underneath to catch your oil, but I didn't realize there was going to be that much oil in it, but there turns out there was quite a bit. That's actually quite a bit big area in there, and it's all floating in oil. So, and to put it back together, to have your steering straight, just go ahead and make sure your wheels are straight wherever you park it. That way then when you knock out your ball joint in there, your wheels are already straight, and then once you do, get your arm back on there. We'll put your ball joint in, put your arm back up in, push your shaft back through. That's where your center is, and then just drop your steering rod down, then line them up with the rod in there. Let's see if I can't get in here. Line it up with that hole with the rod that's inside. Wish I turned my light on for you, but you can see it there a little bit. It's a round, so you just line those two round points up, put your pin in, and you're back to straight. So, but this thing here, when we got it, never was perfectly. It turns sharper one way than the other, so I'm going to go ahead and move the arm a little bit. So if you can do that with this here. What you would do is you would just move your steering rod arm on the other side and adjust this a little bit, and you're set. So yeah, figured I'd just make a little how-to tutorial how you would do this on your 2020, because there's not many videos out there that actually walk you through. Not like I didn't walk you through it, but I told you exactly how to do it, and it's pretty straightforward. So another thing is, if you have a obviously if you have like a foot pedal or a gas pedal on this side, you just go ahead and just remove it, that way it's out of your way. So but then yeah, you just go ahead and repeat the process and make sure everything's straight when you put it together. So I'm ready now to put the new seal in. This, if you're looking for a part number, this is the part number for the seal. So it's an AT11927 from Deere. So that D4043 might be their new part number for it. You just call up your local dealer and they'll get you one coming. So thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna get this old girl back together because we got some work to do before the rain gets here. So stay tuned for more help videos, and yeah, I got some more videos coming of Bronco racing in Holmes County, Ohio. So can't wait. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and yeah, thank you for tuning in.